So good morning to you all and welcome to the FAQs on Study in Canada, a COVID-19 special. My name is Ganga Dandapani and I'm Senior Vice President at CanAm. So we start with webinar 4, FAQs and Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. RNIP, not much is known about it because consultants don't speak about it because they're not authorized to unless they are licensed immigration consultants because it's an immigration pilot. However, it's a great opportunity for international students to know more about it because you can benefit hugely with this RNIP towards your provincial nominee program and an invitation to apply for permanent residency. Therefore, a lot of questions were asked about it in the previous webinars, and I've chosen this as a separate topic for today. And therefore, the topic is FAQs of the past webinars and Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. Now, webinars 1, 2, and 3 have been emailed to you in case you wish to listen to them again, or if you haven't listened to them before, or wish to forward it to your friends. If you don't have it with you, please ask your question in the chat box today with your email address and your city, asking for webinar 1, 2, 3, and 4 links. We're also addressing 10 common questions that were asked during webinar 3 under the FAQ section. The contents of webinar 4 are 1 minute on who's CanAm, 1 minute on how does Bill C-35 affect education agents, 1 minute on what education agents should not do unless they are licensed, 5 minutes on the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. In fact, it's a little more than 5 minutes. 15 minutes on the 10 most common FAQs from webinar 3, and 15 minutes on live question and answer session. So who is CanAm? You are all aware of who CanAm is, but a little formal introduction should help as well. One second. We at CanAm are pioneers in career counseling for the students headed to Canada for the past 24 years, which is almost a quarter century. Please listen to the videos on our website to hear what top universities and colleges have to say about CanAm counselors and the services. CanAm is very special to Canada as we are the largest consultant and the oldest consultant and a licensed consultant. Anurag Sandhu, our CEO, is an ICCRC member, Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council, which means that we are Canadian government licensed consultants for visa processes. Now, as a student, you not only apply for admissions, not only do you need an education counselor, you also need a visa counselor, and a licensed visa consultant is what you need so that you don't spoil your chances of getting a visa. There are no consultants across India who can claim this combination of pioneering experience with licensing while promoting Canadian education careers and pathways to permanent residency. Do not seek visa assistance or permanent residency guidance from unlicensed agents and ruin your career. Choose a Canadian government licensed consultant and be safe. Now, ICCRC, Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council, an extract of the ICCRC advisory on education agents. It is necessary for us to inform you about it simply because students tell us that the unlicensed agents tell them that, oh, you don't need to have an ICCRC license because, you know, we are education agents, we tell you about education. True, as long as you are just an education consultant and not informing anything about visas, that is fine. But the consultants do inform you about visas. And you need to know, as far as Canada is concerned, you need to know all about the visa policy. You need to know about post-study work permit. You need to know how you should be able to apply for that. You need to know what are the permanent residency options for you. Because you're choosing Canada as a study destination primarily because Canada offers all these options. So an immigration consultant or a licensed immigration consultant is the one who can give you all this information. And only he or she should be giving you that kind of information. So how does the Bill C-35 affect education agents? Bill C-35, which was passed by the Canadian government, made it an offense for anyone other than an authorized representative to offer immigration-related services for a fee. Now, some of them might tell you, oh, we don't charge you anything. However, it's clearly indicated that a commission charged to a university is also considered a fee. So any agent who gets commission from a university or college cannot advise you about immigration or visa policies or permanent residency unless he's a licensed consultant. Authorized representatives will include Canadian citizen, members of ICCRC, members of various Canadian Law Society, and so on. Now, what education agents should not do unless they are licensed? Okay, if they are not licensed, they cannot explain or provide immigration advice. They cannot tell you anything about permanent residency. They cannot tell you anything about post-study work permit. They cannot tell you anything about how to apply for a visa, for student visa. They cannot complete immigration forms, including your student visa form. They cannot communicate with IRCC, which is the Department of Immigration in Canada, on a client's behalf or represent clients in an immigration application or proceeding. So no unlicensed agent is allowed under Canadian law to assist in visa application or permanent residency or work permit guidance. Non-ICCRC members may only provide admission services, and if a student needs assistance in visa application, they should refer them to ICCRC members. But you know that does not happen. So don't get stuck with unlicensed consultants about your immigration advice. Now we come to the rural and northern immigration pilot. A lot of you asked questions about it. Here is the information. RNIP is a community-driven program designed to spread the benefits of economic immigration to smaller communities by creating a path to permanent residence for skilled foreign workers, including international students who want to work and live in one of these participating communities. So basically, there are communities across Canada which have been chosen for this RNIP pilot program. And in these communities, there's a huge shortage of skilled people for various jobs. Now you need skilled people in jobs so that the economy can be driven. And therefore, RNIP is an option wherein as an international student, when you finish your study there, you get a work permit, you are one of those people who can fill in the skills gap. So RNIP is basically for people who either already working there or studying and then working there. They can make use of this RNIP to apply for permanent residency in a faster manner. Now, there are 4 steps to applying for permanent residence under this pilot. The first one is check that you meet both. The first one is IRCC eligibility requirements. What is the eligibility requirement? Either you need 1 year of continuous work experience of at least 15-60 hours in the past 3 years, or you should have graduated with a degree or a diploma or a certificate from a publicly funded, that is government funded, post-secondary institution in the recommending community. It should be a minimum of 2 years post-secondary program, basically a 2-year diploma or a bachelor's degree or a master's degree program. So if you have studied any of these and got any of these qualifications in that community from a government funded institution, a university or a college, then you meet the IRCC eligibility requirements. What is the next requirement? Community specific requirements. The community selection committee will be assessing the candidate's ties to the community to ensure that you and your family are prepared to reside in the community after you receive your PR. Now, communities ties to the community would basically mean, yes, that you have studied there, so you have ties to that community. You have lived there for those 2 years while you were studying. You have contributed to the economy by doing your part-time jobs, by paying rent, by buying stuff there. So all that is community ties. You've got a job offer there, that shows the community's ties. The fact that you're working there shows your ties to that community. In addition, if you also have a blood relative who's living in that community and who is a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, that will also add to your ties to that particular community. So these are the 2 eligibility requirements. First, check that you meet both. Then find an eligible job with an employer in one of the participating communities in the listed occupations of the eligible sectors of each community. Basically, you need to find a job with an employer in that community in a listed occupation. of the eligible sectors. Now, eligible sectors, you have to go onto the website and see. Eligible sector could be in the mining sector, could be in the IT sector, any of those sectors, or within that sector in a listed occupation. That means the designations will be listed. What are the designations? So if you have that kind of a job profile in that sector, then that job offer would be considered eligible. Now, once you have a job offer, you submit your application for recommendation to the community. If your community recommends you, then you can apply for permanent residence. So basically, you need to have studied there a minimum 2 years of post-secondary or a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. Then you need to be showing community ties, need to find an eligible job. So once you have the job offer, you apply. And once the community recommends you, you can apply for permanent residence. And that is why a lot of students are interested in knowing about the RMIP. Now you need to know what are the communities and which are the government-funded universities and colleges in these communities. To know more about the eligible sectors and listed occupations in a specific community in your field of interest, check the government website or contact a CANAM counselor to assist you in the process and help you choose a suitable program of study that could lead to a career in a listed occupation in the eligible sector. Now, communities and some of their publicly funded post-secondary institutes. North Bay, Ontario. The pilot hasn't yet been launched in this community. Nipissing University offers many masters, bachelors, and PG diplomas. Canado College offers bachelor's degrees, UG diplomas, and graduate certificates. Next, Sudbury in Ontario. The pilot has already been launched. Laurentian University offers a wide range of bachelor's and master's degrees with fast track options too. Cambrian College offers many undergrad diplomas and graduate certificates. Timmins in Ontario, the pilot has already been launched. Northern College offers many undergrad diplomas and graduate certificates. Sault Ste. Marie in Ontario, the pilot has been launched. Sault College offers many undergrad diplomas and graduate certificates. Thunder Bay in Ontario, the pilot has been launched. Lakehead University offers bachelor's or master's degrees and PhDs and some graduate diplomas. Confederation College offers many undergrad diplomas and graduate certificates. Brandon in Manitoba, the pilot has been launched. Assiniboine Community College offers diploma programs. Altona Rhineland in Manitoba, pilot has been launched. Red River College offers many undergrad diplomas and graduate certificates. Moose Jaw in Saskatchewan, pilot has not yet been launched. Saskatchewan Polytechnic offers many undergrad diplomas and postgraduate certificates. Vernon in British Columbia, pilot has already been launched. Okanagan College offers undergrad diplomas and post-baccalaureate programs. West Kootenay, pilot has not yet been launched. This is in British Columbia. Selkirk College offers bachelor's degrees, associate degrees, and graduate certificates. So those were the communities and the various universities and government-funded institutions that offer the various programs. It would be a good idea to connect with the CANAM counselors and see where is your field of interest, what programs you qualify for, and where is it you're most likely to be able to find a job in a suitable sector, in a suitable occupation list. Now we come to 10 most common FAQs from webinar 3. FAQ 1, yes, this was the most commonly asked question. Which province is the best to study in and get permanent residency? Oh, it's such a simple question, such an easy answer. No, it's not that. Everything is always complex because it totally depends upon your profile, your academic profile, your experience, your field of interest, your marks, your finances, funds. All that is very important before you decide on all that. Okay, after qualifying a permanent residency program like the Canadian Experience Class or Federal Skilled Worker Program, you will go through the express entry pool with the CRS points as explained in webinar 3. Now, if invited in a round of draw, you will be able to apply for Canadian permanent residency across all Canadian provinces. That said, there are some provinces which offer provincial nomination to international students who study and get their jobs in their province, as discussed in webinars 1 and 3. In today's webinar 4 also, we discussed one such option of RNIP in communities across Canada. Webinar 1 touched upon Atlantic Canada immigration pilot. Different provinces have their PNP with special provisions for international students, which gives extra 600 CRS points. Comprehensive ranking system points, CRS points. I've already explained that about express entry when we discussed in the webinar 3. To check what suits you the most, we don't need to look at your overall profile to give you a more concrete answer, as even the most popular provinces like British Columbia and Ontario, Saskatchewan has, Manitoba has, Alberta has, they have all provincial nominee programs that you may be able to take advantage of after having studied and worked. Now, alert. Please remember, only a licensed ICCRC consultant is authorized to advise you on options linked to provincial nominee program and permanent residence. Now, FAQ 2. When should I apply for January 21st in 21 intake? Yeah, this is also a very common question. The Canadian institutes have already started accepting applications for January 2021 as they are expecting a huge rush of applications. Students are finding it difficult now to get admission to September 2020, but there are limited open seats kept exclusive to preferred partners around the world such as CanAm, as most programs are already closed. Also listen to the video messages from the universities about open programs on www.canamgroup.com. At the end of the seminar, I'll tell you where exactly to find these video messages, but do remember to watch these videos. They are very short, 5-minute videos from all these universities and colleges telling you about what seats are open, how you can apply for admissions, and so on. It's best to apply as early as possible for the Jan intake to ensure that you're able to get a seat in the program and college of your preference, as students from September intake may also decide to defer to the January intake due to visa delays or travel restrictions. At this stage, there are approximately 60 plus colleges who are accepting applications for Jan intake, and every day the list is increasing. Try for September 20 if you can, else apply for January 2021. Now, FAQ 3, I have a BTech, but I want to pursue a course in health. Now, this person did not mention BTech in what, but since it's a very related question, a lot of students ask this question, I've taken this up. I hear that health services related skills will be able to get us more part-time or full-time jobs in the near future. Is it possible? Yeah, you heard my previous webinars, I think. You need to justify your reasons for choosing a different stream. And as long as the reason is valid and logical, we will have options available for you. You're right about more job openings in the healthcare sector now. In fact, in webinar 1, I did mention that there are 76,000 new jobs that the Canadian government has opened in the healthcare sector. However, when you do apply for admission and/or student visa, you would need to explain your reasons for this change of profile from BTech to healthcare. If your past study in BTech is in IT, then doing a health informatics program is related and you can still work in the healthcare sector. Or if you'd had any past work experience in the safety or administrative fields and you opt for a program in emergency or disaster management, you may be able to explain the link and usefulness of the program in your statement of purpose. These skills could also find you work in the healthcare sector. Speak to CanAm career counselors to know more related program options to your interest, profile, and job outcomes. We have 24 years of experience and lakhs of success stories in matching profile, interests, skills, careers, and permanent residence. FAQ 4. What skill-oriented and affordable options can you suggest after an MTech in structural engineering? Okay. After completing your MTech degree in India in structural engineering, you can, 1, opt for an MBA in project management or quality assurance in Canada. Admission would definitely depend on your grades and other test scores. Do note that an accredited MBA would be an expensive option. Or a Master of Applied Science in Building Engineering would be a great option in case the course contents give you a huge value addition. Since you already have a Master's in Structural Engineering, you need to do something which is going to give something extra. Or you can take the option of a quicker and more affordable entry into the workforce through a graduate certificate in one of the many Canadian colleges. Your options could include project management, construction management, building information modeling, and so on. Do connect with a Can-Am career counselor for a great profile, program, availability match. Now we go to FAQ 5. How does one connect to alumni of colleges or universities? Good question. For a more personal glimpse of a faculty or student services or the campus or whatever about the academics or a specific faculty, do contact alumni or current students. Most institutions maintain Facebook and LinkedIn groups for alumni. You could narrow your inquiries so you find out just those alumni who have interests that align with yours. If you plan to earn a degree in a scientific field, for example, a business school graduate may not be able to provide the most relevant insight. Sometimes an informal contact through FB, in fact, most of the times, about their personal space. You can request your Can-Am counselors to connect you with their past and current students who don't mind helping out new students. Please note that Can-Am seeks consent from its students before we connect them to new students, otherwise they'll not talk to you. Now FAQ 6, what are the chances of a student visa if you have 3 years of study gap, 2 refusals, and a reason was that you will not leave Canada at the end of your stay based on the purpose of your visit? We do have a lot of people like this. That's why I took on this question. Well, we are sad to hear that your visa application has been refused. As proven by our approval rates, which are always above 93%, our team is best placed to not just handle your case, but to also give you the best possible chance of success as long as your documents are genuine and your gaps are explainable with acceptable evidence. Now, visa officers are generally very specific in terms of the right program selection and consistency of the information provided for the visa application. Now, we also hope that the information that was given in your past forms was correct in your case. We would need to relook at your circumstances, assess your case as it stands, and then guide you to explain your situation logically in a detailed statement to convince the visa officer that you're indeed a genuine student deserving a student visa. Now, FAQ 7. I am unable to get certain documents like backlog certificate since my university is closed. How do I apply? Okay. Again, this is a problem which many of you are facing. You're right. With most universities and colleges at this stage, it's nearly impossible to provide certain documents like a backlog certificate. If you've been listening to the video messages from the Canadian universities and colleges on the Can-Am Group website, you will note that they've been giving flexibility to students applying through Can-Am. The admissions team at Can-Am continues to liaise with colleges for such problems on a daily basis, and they've given us a lot of leeway in terms of documentation. Most students have been accepted either conditionally or even unconditionally without certain avoidable documents subject to the institute. Please consult a senior counselor at Can-Am and let us arrange your admissions. FAQ 8. Now, I have 10 years of experience and now I would like to go for a master's in computer science. Is it possible to get admission? Yeah, there's a lot of rumor in the market that you'll not be able to get an admission, you can't go for it, you'll not get a visa. So this is one of the very common questions that we come across all the time, not necessarily for master's in computer science, for any student. Now, the answer is there is no age limit for studying in Canada. However, the program that you choose should be in line with your previous qualification and work experience. You should be able to justify the reasons for choosing the program, which can be done through a strong intent statement. Your academic grades would be considered, and some universities might need you to also have a qualifying GRE score for admission in your master's. So the answer is yes. You can certainly get an genuinely to study and gain a Canadian education. My personal suggestion would be choose programs that are meant for working professionals because you have 10 years of work experience. It will show that you've done a good lot of research and chosen a program which is actually meant only for working professionals. Speak to a CanAm career counselor and get advised on this. FAQ 9. What if the class 12 results get delayed beyond the date of acceptance? Will the university accept this delay? Yeah, this is a concern most of the undergrad students have. Boards have started announcing the dates for final exams, including CBSE. Please check with the respective boards for more information. In response to your question, the Canadian universities are doing their best in terms of providing extension for students as they understand the situation. We are in regular touch with them. And also when you watch the videos, you'll get to know they are very, very concerned and they are being very, very helpful. Universities have extended deadlines for your final documents and are giving conditional offers. You also have the option of deferring your admission to January 2020 if the programs are available. Now that's a catch line. Please ensure that the programs are available in January 2020. Then only you'll be able to defer to that. Now, CanAm has been in contact with all institutes. We work closely with them to facilitate your admissions and assist you with getting the required extensions. Please speak to one of the senior advisors at CanAm for more information with respect to your profile. The last FAQ. If I study in a college instead of a university, would I be facing any trouble for applying for my permanent residency? Again, this is a common query. The Canadian universities and colleges, the government-funded universities and colleges, both offer fantastic options to students. The choice between a university or a college would be made depending upon various factors like the course contents, your eligibility for the program, what work experience you have, what is the tuition fee cost, what are the career outcomes, and so on. So please consult a senior advisor at CanAm and discuss your inclinations, your interests, your long-term goals, so that we can point you out in the right direction. Now, to get invited to apply for a permanent residency of Canada, you would need to go through a point-based system, the CRS, as discussed in webinar 3. Points for your age, work experience, language proficiency, French or English, and both, in fact. Canadian education, you get separate points for Canadian education, for Canadian work experience, skill transferability, etc. Now, a Canadian bachelor's or a master's degree will fetch you 30 points, whereas a 1 or 2 year certificate or a diploma will get you 15 points. Now, that is the only difference. It's not whether you study at a university or a college, but it is the qualification that you get in Canada that will decide the number of points that you get. However, having said that, it's very important to know your own profile. You would need to discuss your full profile with a licensed immigration consultant like CanAm to analyze what would be the best in your case, in your profile. You may already be having a large number of points. So based on that, or whatever your points you are likely to be having, based on that, what would be the most suitable option for you? Please speak to a licensed immigration consultant and then choose your program. I hope you've already been asking your questions. You can still continue to ask your questions now. Click on the chat button and you'll see a chat panel open on the right side. Post your questions with your email ID, your city, and your question. A CanAm expert closest to you will also connect with you. Now, your questions can be related to any topic on study in Canada. The next webinar 5 date will be announced soon, as currently we are getting busy with specific university and college webinars. To check the schedule of the specific university and college webinars and attend them, please register online at www.canamgroup.com. You will receive an email with the video links of this particular webinar and all the past 3 webinars with mobile numbers of CanAm experts in your cities. Please contact them with your queries. If you need the links of the past webinars, please mention this in your question in the chat box. And don't forget, do watch the video messages from Canadian universities and colleges on www.canamgroup.com. The banner would look something like this. When you go to the CanAm Group website, the COVID-19 global lockdown, latest info on Canadian universities and colleges, admissions and student visas, click for updates. You click on that and you'll get into the page where all the videos are posted. It's more than about 50 to 53 videos as of now, and every day the list is increasing. Please listen to the video of your choice. They are very short videos, not more than 5-6 minutes. So with that, I thank you.